But elsewhere in Queensland, Gold Coast Mayor Tom Tate, I should say, is saying, we'll host the Commonwealth Games. Give us 3 weeks. We're Commonwealth Games ready. And Victoria can give us the $380 million that they're going to fork out in compensation. Just give it to us and we'll make the rest happen. He reckons he can do it for $750 million to $1 billion. So I don't know where he's getting his budgeting from, but maybe he should talk to Dan Andrews. Here he is today saying, hey, not a worry, mate, just hand it over.
Gold Coast is games ready. We need 3 weeks to put our submission together, and we welcome any other city who wants to join. Happy not to call it Gold Coast, happy to call it Australian Commonwealth Games.
Happy to share the credit, it's fine. We can all have a piece of the pie. I love his attitude. It's just like, no, game's not over. We can still pull this off. Of course, all the state and even federal, his friends, shall we say, for want of a better word, are just like, mate, sit down. Nobody's interested. It's not happening. But I love the spirit behind his can-do attitude. Well, if only we could salvage Australia's reputation that easily.
I think the reason why the Albanese government and the Palaszczuk government will not be interested in supporting Tom Tate is because he's a member of the LNP, and if he can do as you said, if he can run the games for under $1 billion when Dan Andrews is saying $7 billion, I mean, would they really allow Tom Tate to embarrass their Victorian mate Dan Andrews?
Well, Tate said today that he received a letter from Annika Wells, the federal sports minister, saying that the federal government would lend support to the Gold Coast hosting it if they can get the support of the Palaszczuk government. Yeah. And that's where it's going to get into a bit of trouble, because she's indicated she won't do it. But she's in enough trouble in Queensland at the moment. She's just gone off on a European
she's not in Queensland
holiday.
at the moment.
Well, exactly. She's gone off on a European holiday. Apparently, she didn't even tell her colleagues she was going off on a European holiday. Here's the bloke filling in for her, Cameron Dick.
No, I wasn't aware she was travelling overseas, but to be honest, being that Premier is one of the toughest jobs in Queensland, and everyone is entitled to a holiday.
And he and others are apparently sort of circling now to try and, plot to take over the leadership. There's been this dossier going around about how they're going to go into the next state election, and it's rumoured to be about getting rid of her, but then they say it's not about getting rid of her. Maybe this could be the thing that saves Annastacia Palaszczuk. I mean, we know she's already...
Which is why she should go for it.
Exactly, she's already delivered
really save her skin.
Yeah, she's delivered the Olympic Games.
She's on the nose at the moment. The Sharks are circling. Cameron Dick, who we just
Do you reckon people would buy it?
I reckon.
She's got the Olympic Games already.
There's egg all over Australia's face. This isn't just Victoria. We all feel it, and the loss it means for athletes, not just here in Australia, but around the world. If Queensland could come to the rescue here, as well as we know that they're focused on the Brisbane Games.
You know what they could do? They could revive that sign that they used to fly through the sky during the pandemic saying, "We are safe because she is strong." They could revive that sign again. The Commonwealth Games are saved because Anna Palaszczuk is strong. It could work.
I can't think of anything worse. I have to say, though, watching the hearings that have been going on over the last few days in federal parliament into why it fell over in Victoria, it just becomes more and more obvious. I don't think Andrews ever intended to put these Commonwealth Games on. Yeah. It was simply a political ruse to get regional votes in Victoria at the last state election, November last year. And then, of course, he comes out afterwards and says, $6 billion, we can't do it anymore. And then he reaps the political gain of saying, well, I'm diverting that money to the schools and the hospitals instead. I don't think it was ever going to happen.
When did you become so cynical, Caleb?
Journalism does.
What happened to you?
Too much time in newsrooms.